6 Japanese Zero fighters close in from behind. A lone American B-25 limps through the sky, one engine coughing smoke, its tail already torn open. The crew waits for the kill shot. Then the pilot does something no flight manual allows. He throttles down. The bomber slows to the edge of a stall. The Zeros overshoot, confused, scattered, exposed. What happens next will quietly change how bombers survive combat. New Guinea, 1943. The sky over the Coral Sea is not heroic. It smells of fuel, sweat, and burnt rubber. Inside a B-25 Mitchell at 12,000 feet, the heat turns metal into an oven and men into shadows. Radio chatter crackles, half fear, half static. Below, the jungle stretches endlessly, green and indifferent, swallowing wreckage without ceremony. This is the 5th Air Force under General George Kenny. They fly long missions over open water with no margin for error. If an engine fails, you ditch. If you ditch, you vanish. Japanese air power controls the sky in lethal pockets. The Mitsubishi A6M0 is faster, lighter, and flown by pilots trained since childhood. American bomber crews are being lost at a rate that keeps intelligence officers awake at night. The math is brutal. Every mission costs machines and men. Replacements arrive weekly, young, undertrained, hopeful. Some last 3 sorties, some last 1. Into this grinder steps a pilot who does not belong. His name is Jay Zeamer Jr. Tall, thin, wire-rimmed glasses fogged by humidity. An MIT graduate in civil engineering. He speaks carefully, like every sentence has been load-tested. Other pilots play cards or write letters home. Zeamer reads manuals, after-action reports, translated Japanese flight doctrine. He asks questions that irritate commanders, dangerous questions. Why do we always fight on their terms? What if speed isn't the answer? Zeamer does not look like a warrior. He looks like an engineer who took a wrong turn into a war. Fighter pilots are supposed to be aggressive, instinctive, loud. Zeamer calculates. He hesitates. He second-guesses. That makes him dangerous in the eyes of the brass. Not to the enemy, but to himself. He is reassigned again and again, moved between squadrons like spare equipment no one wants installed. Co-pilot missions, fill-ins, temporary duty. A quiet exile. The war is full of men like him, competent enough to keep, too odd to promote. Zeamer does not complain. He studies. Each reassignment becomes a data set. He observes how different squadrons fly, what works, what gets men killed. He keeps a notebook. His crew notices something unsettling. Zeamer never panics. When an engine catches fire over the Bismarck Sea, he narrates the failure calmly. Oil pressure dropping, altitude lost 200 feet per minute, trim compensating. Some men hate it, others trust it completely. Zeamer begins volunteering for missions no one else wants. Deep reconnaissance, solo photo runs over enemy territory, outdated aircraft, skeleton crews. Jobs where you return with intelligence, where you don't return at all. He assembles a crew of misfits, a bombardier scarred by malaria, a navigator who once ditched at sea and swam 5 miles, a gunner busted in rank for refusing a bad order. They trust Zeamer because he does not waste lives on bravado. He strips down a battered B-25, reinforces gun mounts, adds a forward-firing cannon, runs fuel calculations to the gallon. His briefings contain no slogans, only math. 17 minutes over target. If we take fire here, we divert here. If the engine quits, we glide this far. It is not inspiring. It is accurate. And they keep coming home.
By mid-1943, Zeamer has flown over 40 missions, still a captain, still overlooked. But he has noticed something no one else wants to see. The worst losses do not happen on the bombing run. They happen during the escape. Zeros do not chase blindly. They sit in the bomber's blind spot. They wait. They fire until something breaks. Doctrine says the answer is speed, max throttle, get distance. But Zeamer understands energy. A Zero attacking at high speed is committed. It has momentum. Momentum takes time to bleed off. What if the bomber suddenly slows? The idea is simple and insane. If the bomber reduces throttle at the exact moment the fighter commits, the Zero overshoots. Just for seconds, but seconds are everything. During that window, gunners have a clean shot. Zeamer sketches it out. Physics, not heroics. He pitches the idea. It is dismissed immediately. Slowing down under attack violates instinct. It risks a stall. It feels like surrender. So Zeamer stops talking about it and waits. Dawn creeps over Dobodura airfield. Ground crews work silently, patching bullet holes with aluminum tape. Zeamer's B-25 sits at the end of the runway, older, heavier, written off twice. The mission is voluntary, which means command expects no one to survive. Fly north to Bogenville. Photograph airfields and shipping. No escort. Zeamer accepts without hesitation. So does his crew. They take off before sunrise, low altitude, radio silence. By 0600, the cameras are running. Then the Zeros arrive. 6 of them. They circle, probe, wait. The photo run is not finished. Zeamer holds course. When the first cannon burst rips through the tail, alarms scream, hydraulics failing. The Zero loops back. Zeamer watches their spacing, their speed, their timing. The second Zero dives. 400 yards, 300, 200. Zeamer cuts throttle. The bomber lurches. The Zero overshoots. The top gunner fires. Tracers walk the fuselage. Smoke pours from the engine. The Zeros hesitate. Bombers do not slow down. Zeamer does it again. Flaps, throttle, timing. Another overshoot. Another damaged fighter. The attack pattern collapses. This is not dogfighting. It is disruption. Fuel burns. Confusion spreads. One by one, the Zeros disengage. The B-25 limps home, shot to pieces, one engine failing, no brakes. It skids into the mud. Silence. Over 500 bullet holes. They survived. Zeamer explains what he did from a medical cot, calmly, precisely. 3 days later, he receives the Medal of Honor. The citation mentions courage. It does not mention throttle reduction. But pilots talk. The maneuver spreads, not doctrine, not official, just something passed quietly between men who want to live. Bomber losses begin to decline, not dramatically, but measurably. 4%. Hundreds of lives. Zeamer never flies combat again. He trains pilots, teaches them to think in chaos. He dies in 2007. His plane is scrapped. His name fades. But the idea remains. That speed is not always survival. That intellect can outmaneuver instinct. Sometimes the smartest move is slowing down.